Hi everybody, it's me, Barbie. I'm the designer behind Petal Pusher. Welcome back. It has been quite a while since I made a video. I think it was the end of September. So there has been a lot going on. I have some really big news to share with you guys, but I'm going to be a stinker and I'm going to make you wait till the end. So I guess if you really want to, you can just fast forward and find out, but I hope you'll stay with me because I've got some goodies to show you too. So, yeah, it's been really busy. I know I say that every time, but it has been. And I'm sure you guys are really busy too. We are in full swing holiday prep here. It is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving here in the US, so I've got lots of baking I need to do tomorrow. I am in charge of the rolls and the pies. So I don't really like to cook, but I do like to bake. And it's even better if you can find somebody that will clean up after you, because that's the part I hate the most. So yeah, I'm always in charge of the baking stuff. So let's hop to it. All right. First, let me show you a finish from last year that I just dug out with all my Christmas stuff, and it's just so cute and I love it. So this was the 2018 Lizzie Kate Christmas pattern that she released. I don't know if she's released a Christmas one for this year or not. If she has, let me know, because if it's cute, I'll buy it. But this was called Sampler Claws. It had a big one and a little one. And I took the big one and I modified it a little bit. Because I think it had can't remember. I feel like it had a bunch of stuff. No, maybe not over here, but like stuff at the top or like random stockings and different things like that stuck in there. And as I was stitching it, I decided I wanted it to kind of be more like nature-y. I know that's not really a word, but I really loved the flowers, and then he had this little tree, and I like how he had a basket, so I just stuck with things in kind of the classic red, white, and green. I used, if I remember, and you can probably look back last year's video, I'm pretty sure I converted everything to color and cotton out of my stash, except for maybe like skin, and the white parts were probably just DMC. And this was on 28 count Monaco that I tea and coffee dyed. And then this sled was from the dollar area, the $1, $3, and $5 spot at Target. Last year it was this variety. This year, I think I put it away. This year they're dark green and they have like wood grain look here. And then a little wreath. I don't think it has a bow. Last year I bought 3 of these because I loved them so much. I was very good and restrained myself this year and just bought 1. So I think that's pretty special. And yes, this is just magneted on, and I love it, and it's cute and adorable, and yeah. So that is previous finish. Let's move on. I'm looking at all my pile here. Let's move on to purchases. I've been pretty good lately because I'm really, something's coming unglued. I've been talking myself out of buying a lot of stuff because I'm like, you don't have time. I don't have time to do some of this stitching. I have file folders full of stuff down here that I don't know when I'm going to get to. So I've been practicing restraint. Now that restraint did somewhat go out the window. I'm sure by now a lot of you have seen Steph, Lindy Stitch's video of her Picture This Plus collection. I do know where I have her address. I wonder if I could break into her house and steal her collection. Don't tell her. Anyway, so I watched her video, and I then proceeded to go on to 123 and order a bunch of Picture This Plus fabrics because I kind of do whatever she tells me to do. And it was a really good idea because they're super pretty. So let me show you what I got. My collection is nowhere near hers. Hers is fabulous, but it's a start. Baby steps. This is not Picture This Plus, but I got some more vintage maritime white. I'm sorry the lighting's going to be garbage today. It is super gloomy out. Like, we've had to have the lights on in the house all day long because otherwise it's really dark in the middle of the day, which is a little depressing, but I do have my Christmas tree up already, so that brightens up the room. But this vintage maritime white, if you're looking for something that white is going to show up pretty well and it's not like a coffee tea dyed. It's a little bit more grayish. It's kind of grayish color. I really like this color. It's neutral, it's light, it's soft. I don't know, I like it. Take that for what it's worth. Here comes the picture this plus. So this is sand, and you can see it's got more modeling. Compare it to the Vintage Maritime. So this one's much more yellowy and more like the coffee tea dyed color, where this one is a little more dulled out. Oh, their lighting is terrible. Just take my word for it. So sand, lovely. I also got Ancient, which had a little bit more of the blue blobs than I anticipated, but I think it'll still work for some things. I wanted to try with some more yellowy colors. So I got Mellow, just showing up decent. It's a little darker than what you're seeing, but it is a nice, almost like buttery yellow color. This one is a lot brighter. This is Moon Glow. And yeah, it's darker than what you're seeing. Compare the two here. You can see there's a fair amount of difference. I think it could be usable for stuff. These two are my favorite. Ariel, which is a really nice kind of sky blue. And Serene, which is showing up like absolute garbage, but it is kind of a minty. And I'm totally a blue and minty kind of gal, so that's why they're my favorite. You can't let those travel alone, so I did order one pattern because it was on sale and it's been in my wish list for quite a long time, and that is All Through the Night, May I. It's May I a small house and a large garden have. I don't know whenever I get around to stitching this in 10 years. I don't know that I'll do it on black. I mean, it looks very nice. I will probably do it on a lighter color because that's just how I am. I also got some Whisper thread to play around with because I have a design in mind for these that I'm really excited about. You'll just have to wait on that one. So I think doesn't have the colors. I think this was Dove. It's a real light gray. And I think this was Ecru or something really close to that. The only other purchase I have is from good old Walmart because, as I've said on here before, I am a sucker for their fat quarter, pre-cut fat quarter rolls. So about, let's see, probably the beginning of October, they put out some of their Christmas stuff, and I know that these go fast, so I snatched them up. So I got just a nice red and white stripe. I got kind of a multicolored plaid because you never know. This one was my favorite. It's a dark green and black plaid, and I thought it was so pretty that I went ahead and bought a whole yard of it. Maybe I'll make pillows one day. Probably not, but I've got it just in case. So that will add to the fabric hoard, and that's my purchases. Let's talk about whips. So I did not do very well with Dark October stitching at all. I wanted to, kind of. It was weird because the beginning of October was really hot here, and so you really didn't feel very Halloween-y when it's in the 90s and you're sweating like crazy. And yes, I did say Halloween-y. But I did manage to work a little bit on one. And oh, I wish I could work more on this because it's so cute. This is Black Cat Hollow by Barbara Anna. And it's part of the Black Cat Hollow Stitch Along on Instagram. And I am that far. So I got all of this one done. Although, what did I notice? Oh yeah, I noticed when I got it out, I haven't done any of the stems on the pumpkins. Oh well, that's easy enough. So anyway, so I had such great intentions of like, yeah, it really does stitch up quickly, but I just didn't have time to stitch on it. And I had high hopes that like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like bust out this top section and really go to town on it because it's so cool and cute. And as you can see, pitiful. That's all I managed to get done. I love the colors. I love the design. This fabric is some sort of even weave. I think it's a 28 count that I got, a bunch of white, and then I dyed it. Is it dove gray or just gray? I don't know. Whatever the RIT dye is for gray, or pearl gray maybe? I don't know. I dyed it gray and then I coffee tea dyed it. So it's a nice, like, again, grayish, kind of grungy color that I think looks really good on this. I do want to get back to this eventually, but it probably won't be, let's face it, until next summer at the earliest. So maybe next year. Doubtful, but maybe a girl can dream. So if you are still doing the A Very Prairie Year Sal, kudos to you. I don't know how many of us are still hanging on. Even for me, it's been a challenge. Just because, like I said, there's a lot going on around here. So let me show you where I'm at. So September, my project that I started was Autumn Leaves, and I was doing this one. And again, I had really good intentions. I was like, all right, the kids are in swim lessons. That's an hour a week where I just sit on the bench, watch them swim, and I can just stitch and stitch. And then I ended up doing some model stitching for myself, and so this barely got any love. I think I worked on it 2 swim lessons out of like 7. So that's where I am. I think I maybe had shown this a little bit on my last video, but I'm not 100% sure. But you can see I have really just gone to town on it. So in the 1-day pile, I think it'll go pretty quick because you know how words are. They usually zip by fairly quickly. Then, oops, sorry. Then so that was September. For my October start, I started on the Weatherwise chart, and I want to do this one. That's a saying that I have always known. I don't know why. My parents taught us that a lot because there are no sailors around here. I live in central Illinois. There's not really much water. Now, yes, the Mississippi River is just like 15 miles away, but not really a sailing kind of thing. So, I like it anyway, so I'm going to do it. And I worked on this a grand total of 1 night for about, judging by the amount of stitching, 10 minutes. Pretty amazing, isn't it? I know. I'm really close to a finish. Almost there. So that's that. And the funny thing is, when we started the Sal this year with Misty and Helen, my first 6 projects I've completely stitched all the way, 100% done with the stitching, and 5 out of 6 of them are even completely FFO'd. Like in frames, I'm looking at 2 over here right now, like I was on it. I was so good. I was getting things done. They looked really great. From, was that June? I don't know. From July or August on, I've barely put stitches in those projects. I don't even know where one of them is. I can't even remember what some of them are at this point. It's bad. I promise there's good reason. So that brings us to my November start. And I'm going to work from Santa's 12 Days of Christmas. I like the Prairie Schooler Santas for the most part, but a lot of them I don't really ever have any desire to stitch, but for some reason these 12 Days of Christmas ones, I just think they're so fun and cute. I don't know, I really like them. So because I, for some reason, am a rule follower and have to do them in order, I have to start with number 1. Even though he may not be my favorite, I kind of like this little farmer guy, but I have to start with number 1. It'd be weird for me to start like on 7 or something. I don't know. Maybe you can do it. My personality, I just can't. So my debate is, do I go with some coffee tea dyed Monaco, which is kind of what I've been doing Prairie Schoolers with and similar to what they are showing. These are my biggest scraps, so might need to do a little dyeing if that is the case. Or, well, I've never done any 1/1 stitching, and these aren't that big. The stitch count is 70 by 50. So that's not that bad, right? So part of me is like, what if I tried to do like a really tiny little, I don't know, would that be torturous, do you think? I don't know, maybe. Or I kind of thought about busting out and using this beautiful fabric that was in my Halloween gift exchange from Misty and Helen. Oh, I know what I started in September. Okay, so fall leaves was my August start because July was country seasons. I know you don't care about this, but this is just for my own brain here. So July I started country seasons, I think the fall one. August I started autumn leaves. September I did my Halloween stitches that we did for the exchange. That's why I'm missing one. I thought I was going crazy. I am, but not on where my stuff is. Anyway, so this was from Misty. This is her color Opulence. And it's really pretty. It's much more yellow than a coffee tea dyed. Again, I know the color's rubbish. So part of me kind of wants to try it on this, but then part of me is like, no, it's a nice big piece. Save it for something really special and pretty and beautiful because look at this fabric. It's gorgeous. So I'll need to decide that here very soon because, like I said, it's Tuesday before Thanksgiving and my children are done with school today. So that means they'll be home all day tomorrow. Thursday's shot because we'll be doing Thanksgiving with all the different families and traveling. And then I'll be out of town Friday and probably Saturday. And guess what? Then November's over. So I need to make that decision and maybe get things pulled to start tonight or tomorrow. That's the plan. We'll see. All right, so those are my whips, my purchases, previous finishes. Let's talk fun stuff. All right, if you are following me on Instagram, you already know the first bit of big news, which has been keeping me very busy, which is amazing. So I have now signed with Hoffman Distributing, and that means that instead of me just hanging out on Etsy, selling my patterns on Etsy, which is great and I will continue to do, it means that now I'm part of their catalog, which is what all of the needlework shops in the country see. So if you have an LNS, maybe they have some of my patterns now, which is really awesome to think about. So I've been busy filling orders for them and printing stuff and folding lots of things and shipping them out, like I said, which is really great, but it has kept me busy. So that was really exciting when that worked out, and I'm so happy to be with them. So along those lines, it kind of pushed me to get a couple of the patterns that I hadn't kind of gotten into print yet into print. So let me tell you about those really quick. Find my stuff. So these will be in my shop, or they're in my shop now. So they had been in earlier, they're back. And now they are in PDF form and in a paper pattern if you prefer to order a physical pattern. So it is my seasonal series that I designed, I believe that was last year. So this is Winter Wonderland, and all of these are stitched on 28 count. Yeah, and I made them so that they can fit in this stand from Hobby Lobby. So this one I didn't do my magnets right, so it's just kind of jammed in the corners there, but the rest of them I magnet on. And it just makes it really easy. Like I like to switch out my seasonal decor, and so this you just pop one off and put one back on, and I hope you enjoyed that sound effect. So these are in the shop, so Winter Wonderland, and we've got Spring Beauty. My idea for these was I wanted to keep these same two houses, but they always kind of change colors for like a seasonal red and a seasonal blue, and then the stuff around them changes. So like these trees I thought of like, okay, in the spring I think of it like kind of being windy, you know, in like a line out like a lamb in March. So these kind of made me think of like kites for the trees and lots of pretty spring flowers. So that's kind of the windiness of spring. Summer, I always think of a lot of rich, lush greens, lots of bees buzzing. And then autumn. And my autumn must have gotten a little wear and tear this go round, but there it is. So they will all fit on the stand. I think you can get it in a brown color too if you don't like the distressed white at good old Hobby Lobby. So those are in my shop. My shop will be participating in Black Friday sales. So mark your calendars, make your wish lists. In the past, I've done where you had to type in a coupon code. I'm not going to do that this year. It just will automatically be marked 20% off the patterns and designs that are eligible. So all of my paper patterns will be, well, am I going to do, yeah, I think 20 is what I decided. So they'll be on there. So stock up. This is my biggest sale of the year. I usually only do like 15 on some different things here and there. So 20 is the big one. So load up your cart. I'm going to be shopping myself that day. So everybody stock up. It'll go from Friday until Monday. So you have all over the weekend in case you're traveling and doing stuff too. So that will be there. And there will also be some new things there that I get to show you now that's exciting. Still haven't gotten to the really big announcement yet. Hang on, it's getting close. You're almost there. So if you will remember, back in September, I introduced a new series to you guys, a new seasonal series called Fresh Picked. And this was the first one that was in there, which was Fresh Picked Pumpkins. And I wanted it to have kind of a very clean and fresh kind of design approach, a little bit craftsman inspired with some of the straight lines and designs, and just kind of a simplified and an interesting kind of, I don't know, to me it was a fresh palette was the word that kept coming. That's why I called it Fresh Picked. So that was pumpkins. And these patterns always have the big design, and then they'll have a small design that you could do a pillow or something small to frame or whatever you want to do with it. This one has the pumpkin on the little cake stand, and these will always be like a jadeite inspired dish or whatever, piece of, why can't I find words? You know what I mean. So this was the first one. The second one in the series I am going to introduce in time for the Black Friday sale. So it's not in my shop quite yet. Give me 1 or 2 more days and it will be there. It's not even completely framed yet, but I'm that anxious to get it to you guys. So if you want it, you can get it during the sale. It'll still, the pattern's good to go. It's just, I don't have it professionally framed yet. So it is Fresh Picked Evergreens. So as you can see, it's similar style, but there are some differences. I wanted something that would look great out at Christmas, but that can also carry over through the rest of winter. Because I don't know about you guys, my house always looks really bare after Christmas because I have so much Christmas stuff and then I have like nothing for winter. So this can carry on through both. So I thought that was really nice. It uses some really pretty Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works colors. I will include a conversion for DMC, but I just love it. I hope you guys do too. This is such a fun series to stitch, and these stitch up really pretty quickly. So that's the main piece, and you'll notice they're the exact same size. So if you do have one frame, you can just pop them in and out. I wanted to try to make it easy for you guys. So you can go from your pumpkins, and then after Thanksgiving, because that can last for that long, you can just pop in your evergreens. So there that is. The small, again, I don't have it finished, so sorry, I know it looks really unprofessional, but I'm not that professional. The small for this one, so you'll notice, like, you can probably tell, you know, you got some spruces and pine trees. This I kind of modeled off of like a cypress. This is like an arborvitae that, actually, I really want this one in my garden. It's called Anna's Magic Ball from Proven Winners. So I put it there in an urn. But this one right here, you're like, what's going on with that one? This is supposed to be a plant called inkberry holly. Now, if you want to Christmas this thing up, change the dark bluey purple berries to red, and it'll look way more festive. It's a really easy change. But I think inkberry holly is a cool plant because it kind of looks like a boxwood. It's not scratchy and pokey like regular holly. And then the berries are this really pretty dark, like indigo kind of color. So like I said, this is not fancied up. into a pillow or anything yet, but here it is. So this is the small that you get with it. So I used a jadeite bottle and a little twig of inkberry holly. And again, if you want to make this super Christmas, just swap out the color of the berries and it's done. It's really easy to do. So these are the two, well, it's all in one pattern. So when you buy fresh picked evergreens, you get this and this together. All right? So they will be in my shop ready to go for the Black Friday through Cyber Monday sale. So grab some. And something new to the shop, I am going to be offering a floss pack for fresh picked evergreens. So these are all the colors that were used. So we got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors. And they are so pretty, guys. And the nice thing is you will have most of these greens. You won't use all of it. So you'll have all these really pretty greens that you can use in other projects. Because if you're like me, I can never have enough greens and different greens. So this will be in the shop as well for the weekend. I don't have a ton of them. Since I haven't done floss packs before, I didn't know how many to get. So if you're wanting one, I would grab one pretty fast so you can make sure you have one. Okay? All right, so that's weekend sale I told you about. New pattern. Are you ready for the really exciting news? Okay, so if I really think on this too hard, it kind of makes my stomach go nuts, but I'm so excited. You guys, I'm going to market. So I got the call. I had been on the waiting list for quite a long time. I got a call, what was that, towards the end of October, that they had a cancellation and a spot opened up. And what I wanted, yes, please. So I have been so busy, guys, trying to work up some really beautiful designs for you guys to see at market in March. I don't know. I just don't know what to say. I'm so grateful for everybody who's watched my videos, for you guys following me on Instagram, for you guys wanting to stitch my designs or having your LNS purchase them. Like, this is what I wanted to do for a lot of years now, and I've been very slowly working my way towards this goal, and it's just so surreal that I get to go to Nashville Needlework Market as an exhibitor in March. So I'm beyond thrilled. So you probably won't see a lot of me in the next few months just because I don't really know what I'm doing. And so I'm trying to get things ready, get things together, try to look like I know what I'm doing when I don't. And I am stitching, I am designing. I just can't show you guys yet, but I think you're going to like it when you finally get to see it. So that's the big news. Super excited. And I think that's about it. So I hope if you are in the States, I hope you have a really good Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, be safe. If you're staying home, enjoy some peace and quiet maybe. The rest of you, have a great weekend coming up. Take advantage of those sales that us crazy Americans are doing. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye.